Every week, a clinical trial is delayed. Someone's treatment doesn't arrive in time. Not a data point, a person. I'm Steven Thompson, founder of NexTrial.ai, and I've spent the last 2 years obsessing over one question. Why does an industry that exists to save lives still operate on an infrastructure from 1995? And here's what I've learned. The friction was not necessary. It was just profitable. And in 2026 is when that changes. We've got 3 predictions. They're specific enough to be wrong. But if I'm right, clinical trials looks completely different 12 months from now. So let's get into it. Prediction 1. Trial activation intelligence becomes the standard, the baseline. Not a nice to have, the baseline. Here's a problem no one talks about. 85% of clinical trials are delayed. Not because the science is bad, because activation is hard. Sites take 90 days to turn on, regulatory submissions pile up, everyone's working off a different version of the same protocol, and the AI that's supposed to help, it's pattern matching. It's probabilistic. It's guessing. So here's what's coming instead. Deterministic AI. Every output traced to its reasoning. Not probably right, probably right. Physics informed patient eligibility. We stop asking who qualifies today and start asking who completes the trial. Because a patient is not a checklist. A patient is a trajectory, a biological system with momentum. And here's the part that changes everything. Parallel global launches. US, EU, India, Brazil, from a single protocol. Jurisdictional adapters handle the compliance. The regulatory submissions become machine to machine with human in the loop for judgment. Not months of sequential rollouts, weeks. That's activation intelligence, and that's just the foundation. Prediction 2. Trial execution intelligence becomes the standard for how sites operate. Because here's the thing about activation. It's necessary, but it's not sufficient. You can activate a site in 30 days, but if that site drowns in queries, loses patients to dropout, buries coordinators in paperwork, and you've just built a faster on-ramp to the same broken highway. So execution intelligence is different. It's a protocol-aware AI agent that sits alongside every coordinator, every PI, not replacing their judgment, amplifying it. Queries get anticipated before they happen. Deviations get flagged before they become violations. When a patient starts drifting towards dropout, the system sees it, recommends interventions while there's still time. And here's where it compounds. What works at site A feeds back to the model. Site B inherits the learning on day 1. The system gets smarter with every trial, not pattern matching on historical data, learning from site execution. Our pilot results, screen fills drop from 38 to 22% and dropout rates from 27 to 19%. That's not incremental, that's structural. Coordinators focus on patients, PIs focus on clinical decisions, and the machine handles the maze. Prediction 3. Outcome intelligence finally makes performance-based contracts viable. This is the unlock. This is where everything connects. For years, pharma has been trying to move towards outcome-based contracts, pay for completion, not enrollment, reward the sites that actually deliver. It keeps failing. Why? Because you can't contract on outcomes you can't verify. So, who brought the patient? Which site actually contributed to the endpoint? Which coordinator deserves the bonus? Without attribution, good sites get underpaid, bad sites coast, the incentives stay broken. Outcome intelligence fixes this. Full referral attribution. Every patient traced back to the source. Every site measured against actual contribution. When predictions are based on real data, activation data, execution data, trajectory data, contracts can finally be based on real outcomes. Sites get sustainable economics, sponsors get realistic timelines, CROs get defensible metrics, not paying for activity, paying for results. That's a win-win-win. 3 predictions, 1 architecture. Activation intelligence is the foundation. Deterministic, global, and regulatory ready. Execution intelligence is the engine. Predictive, localized, continuous learning. Outcome intelligence is the contract layer, where the data finally supports deals that work for everyone. Each layer enables the next. Each breakthrough compounds. This isn't optimization. This is infrastructure. Look, I'm grateful every day that I get to work on this. Not because it's easy. It's not. Building infrastructure is hard. Building it right is harder. But I think about that patient, the one waiting, the one whose treatment got delayed because a site took 90 days to activate, because a coordinator was buried in paperwork, because the site and the system optimized for activity instead of an outcome. The patient deserves better. The maze exists because friction is profitable. Delete the profit motive for friction, and the maze dissolves on its own. That's what we're building at NexTrial.ai. If you're a sponsor, you're a CRO or a site network, and this resonates, come find us. We're not waiting for permission. We're building the infrastructure that should have existed a decade ago. 2026 is when clinical trials start working the way they should. So let's delete the maze. Let's go.